In this video, I want to talk about associativities, and in particularly terminology and how these associativities with terminology in our own lexical understandings of the world can help us come to a deeper understanding of ourselves, but also what's meaningful to us as individuals. Because a large part of even the words that we use and choose to express on a day-to-day basis convey information in regards to aspects of how we think, our mind, the nature of our individual minds, but also the nature of our personality and how we come to conceptualize and think about ourselves, but also think about nature and our own existence in general. And the words that we tend to use more commonly tend to differ from other individuals. And so we might have some ways of speaking and mannerisms of speaking that tends to focus on a certain select body of words that others might not. And there are these lexical associations to that have deeper psychological underpinnings to them, and which help can through understanding the terms and terminologies that we use on a daily basis, being able to understand the differences and the meanings behind those words and the phrasings, not just of the individual words, but the patterns that we see across common associativities, associations between words, to form these clusters of associations in which we can access themes and characters of what is interesting or meaningful to us as individuals, or what tends to be, or also patterns of our individual psyche. So it might not necessarily have to be, say, interesting or engaging, but it generally is, because these the words that we tend to gravitate towards tend to be something that is more intrinsic to what matters to us as an individual embodied ego, and it satiates the needs of the ego, and balances the ego, and therefore balances the self and gratifies and satisfies the self. And there's a lot of ways we can go about characterizing the world, nearly infinite amount of ways about characterizing the world. But when we go and we start to characterize the world in these common or thematic ways, we start to distinguish ourselves as unique individuals. And this is often through this clustering of not just terminology, but various perceptions and behaviors, motivations, emotions, feelings, actions, behaviors, as well as meanings. And these meanings are primarily accessed through well, we can see them accessed more apparently through the lexical, through terminology and expressions of terminology, though they have deeper roots to them. It's not just the lexical. They can manifest in our behavior and various behavioral expressions, and so we can see the embodiments of these vocabularies that people tend to readily draw from as manifestations of various aspects of their personality and their natural personality characteristics, and in particular their self expressions and who they are as individuals. And when we come to understand our own common patterns and uses of certain words, we can develop a deeper understanding of the self through understanding what the mind keeps on circumambulating towards or coming back towards, and really concentrating on or fixating on, or what it finds meaningful and intrinsically meaningful. Why is it doing that? Why is it gravitating to these common set of words where, like, this person doesn't focus on that set of words, or that person doesn't uh, focus or speak like that much, but these words and this mannerism of speaking is just common and seems so natural to me as an individual. So why is that? And that exploring those speech patterns itself can provide information in regards to what you find meaningful as an individual, and what you tend to also find matters to you. Not just meaningful, but matters, because it's not just that there is a semantic component to that. There's a whole embodiment in relation to the process of meaning that involves mattering, and mattering that occurs through this perceptual and behavioral interfacing and an embodiment of terminology and the lexical that has to do with the very fundamental nature of personality. So that's all I wanted to say for this video. I hope you enjoyed it.